I can't wait to show up in 10 years and be like, I'm still here. And this is still my face. And I still love life. And I can still be on social media and I can make content and I can share my world and my life, and to show other women that you do not become irrelevant because you turn 40. You do not become irrelevant because you turn 50 or 60 or 70 or any of it. Like, I can't wait to be 90 years old and be doing a handstand in my yoga class. And like, that's right. You are not limited by your age. You're limited by your habits and what you stop doing.
Hello and welcome to the Joyosity Podcast, where we dive into the business of joy and helping you create positive culture with all those complex people that you work with. I'm Jen Whitmer, keynote speaker, author, and resident joy bringer. And in the final episode of this series, The Courage to Do It Differently, Joy Makes Work Work. This conversation and all the others in the series were originally a part of the research for my book. I was interviewing and asking questions of these amazingly successful and brilliant humans about their work, their identity, creativity, and what it takes to really lead and build something meaningful in work and in the rest of their lives. And over the course of the series, we've talked about presence, culture change, leadership boundaries, and what it means to build work that is more human and more sustainable. And this final conversation with Helen is a perfect way to close the series. In part 2, we're talking to Helen Morrison. Helen is the 5th generation CEO and president of Frownies, a beauty wrinkle patch that I wear all the time. And she's the one who influenced me to get Frownies so much that I will even wear them at the airport. And in this episode, we are looking ahead. We talk about what it means to grow, to scale, and the future she wants to create through the work of her brand, but I would also say herself. And what happens when a business isn't just trying to win market share, to win a competition, but trying to shift the story that women in particular are living every day. This is the kind of conversation that I was like re-listening to it and just getting so excited because it pulls together so many of the deeper questions that surface when we start talking about work. What are we building? Who does it serve? What do we want more of in the world? Because we're here. So listen in on my conversation with Helen Morrison. So I have kind of what might be a feisty question. What have you learned about power as a woman who is running this legacy company, but transforming it in $1 billion industry that has a lot of opinions?
That's a big question.
It is a big question.
What have I learned about power? Well, I would say that I've definitely seen how power can be abused, and power, it's very important that it's in the right hands, because otherwise it can hurt people. And I think that with a lot of power comes a lot of responsibility, and you are held accountable to a higher standard. I think with power, you have a lot of ability to change the world, either for good or for bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do just think it's not something that you should seek to have. Probably won't go well if you're trying to acquire power. You will probably end up using it for the wrong thing. But I think sometimes it's a gift, and if you have the opportunity to give someone power, you should really only ever give someone the gift of power who you know and trust can use it for good, because otherwise it's just dangerous. You know, it's like, if you think about anything that is powerful, the engine of a car, fire, you know, I don't know, so many other things, machinery. They're amazing and they can be used for incredible purposes, but also they're super dangerous. So I just think that power is a dangerous thing unless you know how to steward it correctly. And I think that that's one thing that for me with social media and with just all of that, it's a super powerful tool and it's allowed us to grow our business in an incredible way. And I am grateful that it's had what seems to be a very positive effect in a powerful way. And I love that. And I think that that's always really important to me. And I will always fight for the power to be used for something good and not just used to make more money.
Mhm.
Or now, obviously, like if your business is strong and thriving, you're going to make money. But I think if your only goal is in making money, you will make choices that you are abusing your power, and it has to be about more, it has to be grounded in a mission that is um, good for the world, I guess, so that, you end up leaving a lasting impact of good and not just making money.
Mhm. What might surprise people when they think about, here's where I want Frownies to go?
Oh, that's a great question. Ultimately, as much as like, I will say, no judgment on anybody that does Botox or fillers or anything like that. I totally get why people do. I have a ton of close friends who do. But I also, I'm pretty light on how much I talk negatively about Botox.
Mhm.
But I do think that there are a ton of very real, factual, negative realities of Botox and filler. And I personally do have a desire um, to kind of like take market share from the Botox and filler world. Now, that's probably not a surprise to most people. And for me, it's not about doing it for the sake of like, oh, yeah, like there's a lot of money if you can tap into that. It's
Mhm.
really more like, no, I really do believe like that's hurting people.
Mhm.
And I want to continue to spread the message of Frownies in a way to kind of like save people from going down that
Yeah.
rabbit hole. Particularly young women. I care most about women in their 20s using Frownies. I have such a huge passion. And like sometimes there's a lot of young content creators and influencers on TikTok and stuff who use Frownies. And I'll like see some of their stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. Can we use this for an ad? And so like I'll repost some of their things. And there will be so many hate comments from like older women who are like, you're too young to even have any wrinkles. Like, what is this child? Why are you using this? Whatever. And I'm like, you people are out of touch with young people right now because I'll tell you what,
Oh
my
my gosh.
18 and all of her college friends are getting Botox. And you're
I,
complaining to this about this girl in this ad who's trying to spread the word to other young girls who, yeah, they don't have wrinkles. And so all the more reason that they should be doing Frownies and not Botox. Like,
right. It's like, don't tell them not to put on sunscreen. Like my 18-year-old, and first I have my dad's Italian skin. I tan. If I look outside, I probably don't need to use sunscreen, except my
yeah,
mother was the palest person on the
yeah,
planet. And so she taught me to use sunscreen. Well, I also then have a daughter, if she thinks about the sun burns. So from a
yeah,
very early age, she put on sunscreen. And she will probably have perfect skin for so much of her life, just sheer sunscreen alone. And it's like telling them, well, you don't need to use sunscreen yet because you don't have wrinkles. Like, it's just illogical to me about don't take care of yourself now.
yeah.
It's weird.
I don't think that there's a lot about Frownies and a direction that we would take that would surprise people, but I will say that I would like as a brand for us to kind of begin to have a more powerful voice around beauty standards and just kind of creating more around the brand of an experience of like how you feel and how it affects you on the inside beyond just the products and stuff, to really just kind of boost more brand awareness to be able to have a louder voice to speak into the beauty industry
Mm-hmm.
and the aesthetic like treatment kind of realm, to kind of speak out more about that and to even gain more and more credibility for Frownies so that people are willing to be like, well, wait, like I'll try this first. Because I feel confident that 99% of women in their 20s, if they were thinking they're going to go get Botox, just tried Frownies first, they will never go get Botox. They'll never need to, they'll never want to, they'll be so happy with it. I mean, because honestly, if you start Frownies really young, it's so easy. Like I'm 42 and I have 0 lines on my forehead, and it's just because of Frownies. Like, and understanding that and starting so young, and starting young, like I tell people, like, yeah, I probably wore Frownies for the first time when I was 18. That doesn't mean that I wore them every day. And I didn't even wear them once a month. I wore them like once every 6 months, just little bits here and there, and just kind of watching and preventing, preventative care of my skin all these years. And my mom is 70, and honestly, like her forehead looks just like mine
I
because
mean, I see her little picture when I open my box.
yeah,
So
right. Just I think people just don't understand. I think there's a lack of education, and that I think it's pretty cool now to see a lot more people waking up to alternatives to all kinds of stuff, medical treatments and beauty treatments and all the things. I think we're learning more and more about our body all the time, and there's so much about the face, and a lot more face massage content online too. And there's a lot more content about Botox too. People are getting Botox all over the place now. People get Botox in their traps, they get it in their jaw, they get it in their calves, they get it all kinds of places. And so I'm like, okay, can we all just stop and think about this for a second? What does Botox do? It basically relaxes the muscle. So instead of getting Botox, why don't we get a massage? Why don't we stretch? Why don't we like if your traps are tight, like, don't you think you're probably like walking out stressed out a lot because you got all carrying all this tension? Like, so instead of just injecting and forcing the muscles to be paralyzed, like, let's find other ways. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess I don't know if there's if any of that would surprise anybody, but I would just like our voice to become louder, and our brand to become more known, to be able to speak on behalf of women and calling out beauty standards and celebrating women at every age, and the beauty that is in every age and stage of life, but that doesn't mean you can't also care about products and skincare that make your 50-year-old skin glow and look great, and it's not
I
gonna
mean,
look the same as 20-year-old skin, but it's
totally.
beauty.
Yeah. I love that. That's really good. I mean, I love asking that question of different business owners, because I love the idea of dreaming big and asking bigger questions. So like my crazy purpose and what I am doing is to transform global workplace culture. Like that's going to happen, like so that work is a joy, and people are treated like people.
A
And
lot more workplaces are toxic than not.
but the big dream of like not taking market share to take market share, but to give people different kinds of power, and
Yes.
over their an agency over their own idea of who they are. And so I
Yeah,
love
I really do want everybody. I want Frownies to be like a household name the way that Botox is. Like I want every woman and every man to know about it and to have it like a choice. Because I think a lot more people just do it. They don't really realize. And then later on, they're like, oh, I wish I hadn't done that.
that.
Or,
Yeah, totally.
so.
Well, thank you again for your time. I have one last little question for you. Of When I talk about joy at work, there are three big signals. One is that you feel favored or fortunate that you get to do it. Two, it impacts more than just yourself, like the results of what you do, and it's connected to a larger purpose. Like you have a North Star that's bigger than yourself. And so all of those are big green flags that you're experiencing joy in your life and in your work. So what's one of the things at your work that you even already kind of alluded to this, so what you do with your team of a ranked list? What's one of the things you're like, please don't ever take this from me? Like, this is like, I can't believe they pay me to do this part. Like, do they know that I get to do this part of my job? What's something part of your job that just brings you a lot of joy in that way?
Um, Honestly, my favorite part, and it luckily is the most important thing that I do, is being the face of the brand. I love being on social media, making content, speaking to the people, and even like I still answer DMs and comments and stuff. I love being that public person that's building the community and showing up and kind of standing out front, like I'll go first, like I'll show you. And
Mm-hmm.
I think even in that, it's funny. I had a hard time when I turned 30. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm 30. Like what? Like that was kind of like a mind blowing. Oh, how did I get here? And I didn't have any kids yet. So I think I was also just like, I'm 30 and like, I'm probably like, when are we going to do this? And it was sort of and it was just a harder season. So turning 30 was hard. But turning 40, I was working at Frownies once I turned 40, and turning 40 was like so fun. And I remember being like, I can't wait to turn 50. Like, because I feel like now in the space that I am, being online, being a very like forward facing person, letting people see me and look into my life and who I am and building the community. I feel like it would be even more powerful if I was like able to be like, oh, I'm 50 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's something to a woman not expiring, not giving up. I am so inspired by, I follow and have been connected now with a ton of 50 something ish creators online that are my favorite people. And
Mm-hmm.
they make me feel so excited about getting older because I look at them and I'm like, yes, because I think when I was younger, I saw older people and I just thought like, oh,
Well, I mean, the people on the Golden Girls were in their
yes,
50s, and they were in a retirement community.
exactly. And so I love seeing these 50-year-old creators and makeup artists and people online who are ahead of me and they are still like they're aspirational to me. And I don't mean they're beautiful or they're fit or whatever. I just mean like they're fun. They're alive. They love life. I feel like, I don't know. I was like, as a kid, it just seemed like adults just like old people just get older and grumpier and life just seems more and more miserable
You
and
don't have to go down that
people
path.
lose their joy, right? Like, and they just have too many years of really bad habits, relationship habits, lifestyle habits. And yeah, if I was you and I had lived like that for 20 years and those were my relationships and that's how my physical health would be, I would be miserable too. But I am so excited about just continuing to be me and do what I do. And I can't wait to show up in 10 years and be like, I'm still here. And this is still my face. And I still love life. And I can still be on social media and I can make content and I can share my world and my life and to show other women that you do not become irrelevant because you turn 40. You do
I
not
love
become
that.
relevant because you turn 50 or 60 or 70 or any of it. Like, I can't wait to be 90 years old and be doing a handstand in my yoga class. And like, that's right. You are not limited by your age. You're limited by your habits and what you stop doing and what you just give up, you know? And so, yeah, I love what I do being the forward facing person, the brand, the podcasts, the social media content, as much as it's a grind and it's hard. I have my best days are the days where I'm like, okay, nobody talk to me. I'm going to my bathroom and I'm making content. And at the end of the day, I have like, 10 pieces of content and I've just got all the creative juices flowing. Like I really, really love that.
I
Um,
love that. That
because
is
I do
awesome.
see the most immediate impact in people's lives,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Isn't she great? And that brings us to the end of our series. And I can't think of much of a better way to end the courage to do it differently, because joy makes work work. What I hope that you've heard across these conversations is that doing it differently isn't rebellious just to be rebellious or contrarian. This joyful rebellion is about alignment and courage and refusing to keep calling what doesn't work normal so we can build something more human on purpose. And across the series, it just fits the rest of what we do in the podcast and with the book and with the other programs and keynote speaking that I do. That joy is not the reward at the end of the rainbow. Joy is the very thing that makes good work possible and sustainable and resilient in the first place. So here's the question for you. It's back to something that we talk about a lot, and I ask you to do in the book, and I ask in my talks. What is one small, brave experiment you can try this week to create more joy? Maybe it's re-understanding your view of power. Maybe it's asking yourself a deeper question about why I'm doing this work and who is it helping, and try a brave experiment in the direction of joy. I just want you to start there. If you want more help around that, I love coming into teams. I'm also building something for you as an individual that will help you reduce the toil, escape reactive patterns, and communicate more effectively and rebalance your time into the joy ratio. So you don't have to carry it all alone. So you're not constantly over functioning, and you don't have to sacrifice your performance or your very life. So if you were interested in that, you can join the waitlist at jenwhitmer.com/waitlist. And while you're there, you can grab a copy of Joyosity and the playbook, the accompanying workbook, at jenwhitmer.com/books and wherever books are sold. And we are taking a bit of a podcast hiatus. So this is a great time to go back through the series, go back through the rest of the seasons and find things that were helpful to you, and then share them with other leaders who want to join us in this experiment. Because this is a movement to make joy the center of what we do. When you rate and share and subscribe the podcast, it brings all of our collective courage together to do it differently, to put joy in the center of our work, because joy makes work work.